Start. Okay, config SingPass to authenticate your customer. How many know SingPass? Very good. The government is doing good job.
Sachin, more than the speakers.
So before we start, first thing, disclaimer, all this content are my learning because I am not employee of GovTech. I have no direct association with SingPass. I am one of the fan of SingPass, and that's the whole purpose of presenting this session. Okay, so if you find any content, you can contact me. Okay, my current presentations have no linkage with my company. Okay, and anything related to their business. Yes, I am employee, I am using it, but they have no association. Okay. So please, if you don't like my session, it's my own thing, nothing to do with the company. Please. Okay, don't bring. Okay, so as most of the people know SingPass, it make my job very easy. But still, people, there are few hands which were not raised. Only for those. Okay, what is SingPass? SingPass is a national digital identity. As per information which I have, it was started in 2017. Okay, it is managed by GovTech. Okay, currently there are more than 2,000 applications with government and private on SingPass. This is SingPass fact sheet. Any informations which I am speaking are, or if you want to know any new feature of SingPass, you should have this QR code and the fact sheets. Okay, so from that fact sheets, I will take the few bulletin points. What is these are MyInfo. MyInfo is, as you know, it's a national digital ID. Okay, or identity, to be very precise out there. Each individual, either be Singaporean or residents, details are digitally available out there. You can you can take as per your business requirement. I will take two cases. There are two scenarios which are majorly used. We will cover that part as part of this session. And the features, first is MyInfo is individual. MyInfo business is B2B. If you are working in an organization where you want to have B2B authentications, where you want to know exactly that, okay, if I want to talk with other corporate organizations within Singapore, you can use MyInfo business for that specific purpose. Third is SG Verify. SG Verify is how do you want to verify your customer, or in any case, either be citizens, resident, or business, you want to verify. So SingPass give you three options. First is face recognitions. If you have a scenario where a person, individual will come in front of, or it is physically the person will be visiting, then you should use face recognitions. Second, if it is on digital platform, it's on mobile, laptop, tablet, smartwatch, I don't know right now, but in future if smartwatch comes into this way, you can use QR code. In QR code, there are two options. One is static, second is dynamic. To be very honest, I have not seen any static scenario. Every organizations where I have worked or I have consumed their services, I have always seen them using dynamic. Okay. Third is the old legacy way. In SingPass we call as password login. This normal term we call as login form. So that's one more option. One more service which is given by SingPass is sign. It always also give you option for digitally signing the document. And as per SingPass, this word is taken. Okay, it provides higher assurance of authentic integrity of the signed document. So if you are using SingPass sign as per the document, this is highest. So that's what, if you are going in future, maybe if you are going for any agreement, you might be using SingPass sign out there. For SingPass, there are two ways. One is onboarding process, second authentication. Onboarding process is you are only going to use MyInfo and MyInfo business information. You will not use for authentication purpose. Okay. One of the most common cases is when you open a bank account. What exactly you do? Go to the site. They will say, okay, we will take that as one of the examples out there. So it will say if you want to instantly open an account, we'll just log in once with SingPass. You will get a form which will ask you that you are sharing this all details. You give the consent. Once you give the consent, all the information whosoever authorized body wants to get the information will pass it on, and they will use their authentication to move further. Second is SG login. In case of SG login, you will be using SingPass for authentication purpose. If you want to implement SingPass in your organizations, two things which will be given by SingPass is client ID and TSL certificate, server authentication certificate, okay, which will be provided there. Remaining these options, just like client assertion, JWT, redirect URL, customer JWS, and origin have to be specified by you if for any reasons you want to use in your organization. If I will be showing you demo for dev, but if you have to use on staging and production, you have to add a custom header of authorization, and this is the example. These are the information you have to provide, and this is the example. If you don't provide this information, it will not work. But as I will be doing on dev, it will be working properly out there. It will have no issue. For onboarding, we are using Pkce. Okay, as you know, what is Pkce? In case of Pkce, first we generate a random number, then we hash it with all the required information. We send the code to SingPass to validate. SingPass will give you a code saying that okay, take this code. You will take this code and the random number which you have in the start when you have make the request. Will take these two values, send it. SingPass, when you are sending the first time request, will also specify what mode of authentication. So there are two. It was R256 and S256. From last 1 year, whenever I am working, it is working more comfortable with S256. So you have to specify that you are using S256. It will hash the random number, and it will check the hash which you have generated, the hash you have. If both matches, it will send the access token to you back. Once you have the access token, you will make a request to the personal API. Once you make the request to the personal API, will give you back encrypted format data of personal API, which you will use. You will make one more call to get the key. After you get the key, you will decrypt the information and you will keep it. As we request, if you are storing SingPass information, request to store. If you are storing, to adhere to Pdpa. If you don't adhere to Pdpa, there is a very hefty penalty which you have to pay if you go ahead with this approach. So please, if you are using MyInfo and storing that information, please adhere to Pdpa protocol. So now come for the demo time. Oh, you. I have to close. Now it's back. So what will happen is, if you go to any website, okay, for example IRAS, you are given options to click on the screen, whichever option of authentication you are going, you will be shown this QR code. So this is the example of QR code. Then you take out your phone, do a SingPass authentications. Assume this is the I will take a case of Christopher. I am Christopher for this demo. I will scan my QR code. I will be shown the form of scan. I will be showing this form saying that these are the information that the requested body have asking for it. Do you want to give consent? Yes or no? As a normal practice, please check all the information which you are sharing. Tomorrow you cannot go and say that I have given the consent and I don't want to give the consent now. Once you give the consent, the customer who is using this have full authority. They will ask all your consent. If you give, there are almost more than 100 parameters which we can request as client to SingPass, and if you give the consents, all this information it will can be shared. So be careful. There are personal information, there are financial information. To be careful before saying yes. Took more than time. Okay. Validated. Okay. This is demo, so it passed. But in real case, if you got the consent screen, you have to approve in next 2 minutes or 60 seconds. It's 1 minute. If you don't give it, you have to redo the activity. Second is SG login. In this login, the first half process remain the same. What will happen is you will again serve this. We'll close it at the end. I will share the demo at the end. Even here, the process remains same. You will go to the login page. You will be shown a QR code. You will scan the QR from your phone. Once you validate, it will show you to approve. I will show you the sample from my phone. It will ask your consent whether or not you want to log in. If you say yes, you give approved, then it will directly redirect this link back to the user. Okay, the simple case up there. What really happened, because for SG login, we don't have staging or dev environment out there, so we will directly show on production. What will happen out here is so you will be shown a screen out here where you will be asked for consent. You can say approve or reject. Okay, because after that it will redirect to the normal page and it will show my personal details. So apology, I will reject. So once you reject, it will come back here. If you approved, I could have been gone to the RS applications out there. Wow, I'm too fast, man. Okay, done. You can ask the questions. I will love to answer all of them. Yep, please. AWS? No. Cognito only works with single sign-on, and single sign-on with mostly Cognito works with Active Directory and other service which provide single sign-on. SingPass does not provide. If you want to take an example of government, they use WGAD for single sign-on. They don't use. Yeah. Yep. Yes. Yes. No. No. Because when the request is happening, we make sure that it only asks the mandatory conditions, because in case of onboarding, right? If you want, I can try this example. Okay. No, we request that you give only ask mandatory requirement, things which you feel that customer can deny, because it's the onboarding. You can ask in the next form. So if you find that your customer will reject this request in your onboarding, you can put that in the next phase. Don't put it in the onboarding from when you're taking the info from MyInfo. If they reject, it will be denied. So onboarding is after you get your MyInfo form, you can go ahead. In case if you take a bank, okay, they don't take the authentication from us. They take, or not us, from SingPass. They have their own authentication. Okay, so what they do is, after taking MyInfo, they go to the next step where they will ask you what will be the preferred username. They validate whether this username exists or not, and they'll give you password options, what kind of password you want. If they have, for example, they have their token. Most of the banks have their own tokens out there, so they give you an option for tokenizing out there. So you take that options off the track from MyInfo. That's where onboarding they have separated from SingPass. So if you have requirement any 1% probability, don't put it in onboarding. Keep it separate. You have to know that Pdpa rules only applies for all the information which you are asking from MyInfo. For your info, you can. Any other questions? Thank you.